Hi there, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Robert John Torres, and I'm on the programming team here at Outfest. Thank you so much for showing up to our first ever virtual edition of the festival. It is only appropriate in the spirit of LGBTQ plus individuals that we persevere during these trying and kind of uncertain times. So your support means a great deal to us here at the organization. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Since we're short on time, I'm going to jump right into it. If you're tuning in, you have just finished watching The Teacher, directed by Ming-Lang Chen. And as I'm sure you have experienced, it is a very honest, raw, and ultimately very dignified piece of work. And we're very lucky to have the filmmaker here with us today. So thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hello.
So I want to talk about the genesis of the project. What sort of ultimately led you to kind of work on this screenplay that looks at not only a kind of queer individual living and working in Taiwan, but also this HIV storyline. And can you take us back to those early days of writing?
Right. Initially, I wanted to tell a rather violent story of a serial discordant relationship, especially when the young LGBT generation in Taiwan who grew up after the end of national martial law in 1987. I find that they have a totally different environment as when I was growing up, when the LGBT identity was very heavily stigmatized. And after further research, I got more interested in trying to find out. So for the last probably 10 or 15 years, Taiwan has been gradually marching toward LGBT equality, but on a personal level, as a young person, while you are looking for love and you are searching for one's own identity, what the landscape looks like right now. So, and on the other hand, I have always wanted to tell a story of a very talented Taiwanese theater director, Tian Qiyuan. Back in 1987, when he was 23 years old, he was the first person in Taiwan to be exposed of his HIV status on the media to the public. So as the script moved along, I sort of try to combine the two and try to find out how much the social acceptance has progressed in the last 30 years, as well as Kevin, that he representing a new generation in Taiwan's quite young democracy. What are the current difficulties that they are facing?
One of the things that is especially surprising to see when you watch the film is as an audience member, we're very used to watching queer characters within the space of a school being bullied, but it's very surprising to see a teacher receiving a kind of antagonistic energy or bullying from his own students who are of a completely different age and in many ways is inferior, he is above them. And that shocking moment when he walks in and sees gay plastered across the chalkboard. I was wondering if you could talk about this decision of really making his workspace kind of unsafe for him. It's very fascinating.
Right. I think school bullying is probably like kind of very universal situation where if you were spotted of as less masculine, you become a target of a ridicule and shaming. Kevin is quite a very young teacher, and he's also a newcomer. So I think also that he doesn't want to hide his own opinions toward marriage equality. So that makes him a rather easy target. Also in Taiwan, the education system um, seems more open than it used to be. However, there's a big gap between like some of the more progressed, we say progressed school and the others. So as in the movie, there was a part says that to be gay and to be a teacher in Taiwan, it's still not quite so accepted by general public, which makes him like, to be easily becoming, a target.
Um, it's also I think we should really take this time to talk about the performances in the film, which are very honest and very beautiful, and at times, it's quite painful. And I'm curious how you cast your actors, and also how you work with them. Do you rehearse, or do you not like to? Do you talk with them beforehand? If you could maybe talk about that process.
Yes. Um, well, we have a very long casting and training progress. Uh, in order to work with both professional and non-professional actors, I started a workshop 4 months before shooting. While in the meantime, I was conducting auditions to search for my casts. When I like someone during the audition, I would ask them to come join the workshop without telling them what role they will be playing and not showing them a word of the script. My objective for this movie was to catch the very immediate response from the actors. So no actor had read the script until the shooting began. And I only let them read it twice in a pre-production reading. And after that,